Skipperson's run is over. I can't believe we made it this far. I can't believe LeBron outlasted him. Pause. Foot on the line, friend of the show, made this video called Skip Bayless Destroyed the NBA Media.
So Skip Bayless's run is finally over, ladies and gentlemen. For those who do not know, Skip Bayless, who has been probably one of the biggest face of like sports media over the past 20 years. He made a name for himself in ESPN, transitioned to Fox Sports, and throughout that 20-year tenure, basically, the level of just nasty narratives that are being pushed were just egregious, but thank God it's actually coming to a conclusion because he and Fox were not able to find themselves on the same page on how much money he was supposed to get paid with his contract extension, and he's deciding to move on a different direction with his own opportunities. Now, why, you may be wondering, how is it possible that one of the biggest faces in all the sports media can't get on the same page with Fox? Are they not going to give him the bag? Of course not. The show is irrelevant now. Undisputed, the face of Fox, they're supposed to be the franchise player in Skip Bayless. Guess what? After Shannon Sharpe, who was actually carrying the show, left, the ratings started to plummet. This is something that many people have been talking about for the past 5 months as it slowly declined below 100,000. But I don't think people thoroughly understand how bad it was recently. Fox was literally running after black athlete after black athlete after black athlete, or really just any black person to put alongside Skip Bayless. Actually, I think Drewski was on there one episode.
Hey, bro, we watched this clip on stream. Boy, that's when I knew this show was getting desperate. Imagine having Drewski on your show and having no viral clips from it. That's how bad this interview was, because they just didn't know what the fuck to do with it. They didn't know. Shout out to Drewski for getting the bag, but nah, this was not it.
So really, really desperate. And for those of you who don't know how bad it is, you can clearly see here a couple of spikes here and there, and these are all like around the NFL playoffs, but it slowly started to climb below 100,000. And there is actually a day, like a month ago, June 12th, where the audience was 35,000. 35,000. Again, be very mindful, like, bro, back in 2023, this was consistently over 100,000. Really consistently over 100,000. We're talking about losing a third of your audience, if not more, within a year's time. Wowzers. Now, for those trying to figure out what he's going to do.
Wowzers is crazy. I need y'all to remember, before Shannon left, the numbers Undisputed was pulling was crazy. I genuinely thought they were a bigger show than First Take at one point. Now, mind you, they're still able to pull 100K view clips pretty consistently. These were the last couple months of Shannon being on the show. Look at these numbers, y'all. 1 mil, 660, 756, 400, 780, 460, 630. 330, 370, 240, 897, 540, 600, 600, 160, 400. I don't even think he needed to go to the ratings portion. 2.8 million. Like, a bad video for them was not cracking 100K. And then we scroll all the way up and just a clear difference. A lot of these videos aren't hitting 100K. 300K now is a good clip for them, when that probably would have been like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 at some point.
Don't you dare worry, Skip Bayless. He has his own show on YouTube, so thank goodness we're going to get more of that.
This is the Skip Bayless Show, episode 123, because there's only 123. I'm talking about the one and only, the original Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Man, we done with the 90s. That's the problem with Skip, man. Like, if you gonna dick ride, evolve. Nah. And honestly, Skip Bayless has genuinely been lucky that LeBron James' career has panned out the way that it has. Like, he managed to dick ride a athlete that has generational longevity. Like, imagine if LeBron legitimately fell off when he was supposed to fall off. Supposed to, quote unquote, at like 34, 35. Like, that's what, 2018? I don't know what Skip will be doing right now. Like, he would legitimately be banking on the Cowboys talk. And that's the problem with Skip, is just his lack of evolution with the game. His lack of evolution when it comes to his commentary. His lack of evolution when it comes to his talking points. He's literally been talking about the same shit for 20 years now. And then when it comes to ownership, just hasn't done anything in that department either. Just hasn't, like, he is just hasn't evolved. Because it's unlike, because I want to shout out Colin Cowherd for making the volume. Because I feel like a guy who's done a really good job of, you know, transitioning from the old media to the new media is Colin Cowherd. He has developed this podcast network, this brand that aligns with the new media. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. Smith, even though it's not perfect, I feel like the Stephen A. Smith show has definitely made some positive strides toward that direction. He has made collaborations with content creators like Kenny Beecham, shout out to King of the Fourth Quarter. You know, like all of these different things. But with Skip, nothing.
God damn, Skip. Damn, my nigga, you're 70 plus. Get Michael Jordan's dick out of your. God damn. Damn. You start off episodes like that?
Yeah, I did not expect that.
Well, let's see. Maybe it gets better. Maybe there's something else that you have worthwhile talking about.
Yo.
But before I proceed, a quick guest cameo from my daughter, Hazel. She wanted to say hi today. She happened to be in the neighborhood.
Nah, what's up, bro? Nah, what's up? Buzz, come here. You don't even got the best dog in the game. Buzz, come here. I'm out dogging you. Buzz clears. Right, Buzz? Good job, Buzz. Yo, me and Skip really got the same dog, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Neighborhood. Say hi. Look pretty today. She looks very pretty. Thank you, Hazel.
This nigga is boring if there's not a black man beside him. I'm gonna just say it right now. Yo, Skip, you're boring if there's not a black man beside you to make you entertaining. I believe that to be the case. Undisputably, undeniably. You're not entertaining unless a black man is standing next to you. Maybe you get in your bag later on after you put down your dog.
And by the way, just a quick aside before I proceed, because my memory got jogged by 1, 2, 3. The one and only. I just get so offended every time I see LeBron do the pregame powder toss. I was most offended watching the Olympics, the first 2 games. He does it at the Olympics.
There's so many things to talk about in the NBA. Even on a casual level. Bro, there's so many other things you could have talked about in this last year. But it seems like you're just watching LeBron. And anything you can hate with LeBron, you gonna say it, and that's it. Like, bro.
It just seems wrong. He stole it from the one and only 23.
Nope. Yeah, you just went right back to sucking off LeBron because that's basically been your rendition for your entire career, especially when you got famous. So what I decided to do, instead of watching that old-ass, tired-ass version of Skip Bayless, go back in his peak, his prime, man, and react to some of his greatest takes. Why not? Especially since we ain't gonna hear from this nigga no more.
Is LeBron James a first-ballot Hall of Famer right now?
Without question. It's nothing to even think about. It's one of the greatest players to have ever played the game.
Okay,
Whatever.
my first problem with this question before I get to you, Stephen A. Smith, is that, I think that Tiago Splitter is already a first ballot Hall of Famer in the Basketball Hall of Fame because everybody gets in. I think
That's what I'm saying with Skip, though. He just fell off from, like, even from an like, this fight right here, I don't know the last time I seen a Skip Bayless with this fight right here. We need that energy back, Skip. And hey, sleepy Skip, he is 70 years old. So maybe you genuinely don't have that energy, and that's fine. And that's why I've maintained the take that, yo, Skip, I ain't gonna lie, you're 70 years old. Bro, if it's time to put it down, if it's time to hang it up, it's cool. I think it's time. Unless your pockets are really like, you really need the money, I think it's okay to retire, bro. You have had a 20-year career that not a lot of media members can say they've had. You have made an impact on sports media that not a lot of people can say. You have made a lot of money doing this too. Millions of dollars doing this. That I hope you compounded over the years. Skip, it's okay to retire, man. It's fine. You don't need to keep pushing it, man. You don't need to be on the hamster wheel, man. It's fine.
Carissa's going to get in due time. Stephen A. Smith will get in due time. Maybe. That's a big maybe. But I can't respect the criteria for getting into the Basketball Hall of Fame the way I can the Baseball and the Football Hall of Fame. So if I'm judging by those standards, the baseball and football standards, there is no way that LeBron James is already a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Man, that's a great way to answer a question that you didn't get asked. Thank goodness Skip Bayless asked himself his own question instead of actually asking the question that was prompted to him just so he could then shit on LeBron. Man, Skip Bayless, I promise you, Skip Bayless, Hall of Fame goalpost mover. Oh my God, the moves that he had to just redirect and deflect the question into something else that he wanted to talk about is ridiculous. Mind you, bro, ESPN, they have like pre-show meetings where they just sit there and they talk about what they're about to discuss all throughout the show. For Skip Bayless to be like, fuck that, bro. I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. It's crazy.
He was a disaster in the fourth quarter of that game. A disaster.
Okay, we're going to leave it right
I watched it with these two lazy, repaired eyes.
27, 19,
oh,
and 10.
please.
How was that awful?
You know what happened in that fourth quarter. In what world?
Saying that LeBron, by the time he got to Miami, wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer is ridiculous, especially if you're trying to compare him to the standard of just a player who made the Hall of Fame. Again, it doesn't have to be...
One thing I've never figured out with Skip Bayless, and this may be one of the craziest mysteries of mankind at this point, because he is calling it quits. Was he trolling or was he not? Was he trolling or was he not? Was he trolling or was he just a generational dick rider? A one of one. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just up there. I don't know.
As great as Michael Jordan. Doesn't have to be literally one of the greatest peak players of all time. They'd be like top 10. But at that time, I don't even know when they recorded that or when that show's aired. Bro, at bare minimum, LeBron already had 2 MVPs. He already had made probably at least 2 finals appearances. At bare minimum. He didn't have to win a championship. Carmelo didn't win a championship. John Stockton didn't win a championship. Those players were in the Hall of Fame. To sit here and say at any point that LeBron was not a first ballot Hall of Famer by the time he got to Miami is dumb. It's just dumb. Dumbest thing I ever heard. But hey, man, gets better.
Nobody who could be in the MVP conversation can get away with just taking a back seat in the fourth quarter to the other guy on his team. The MVP of the Cavs is this guy. It's Kyrie Irving. I would hate to see what would happen to LeBron without Kyrie right now, because they might be closer to that team you were describing when Kyrie was there. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. A MVP caliber player can't take a back seat to somebody else on their team. But Shaq did that. Kareem did that with Magic Johnson and James Worthy as well. And he won an MVP. Like, there's several players. Giannis had took a back seat to several players alongside LeBron, in particular Chris Middleton, down the stretch of games. And he won 2 MVPs. Jokic sometimes take a back seat to Jamal Murray. He has 3 MVPs. Like, this idea that you can't take a back seat to another player on your team who may just be a better shot creator than you, especially if you need a 3-pointer. Like, what are you even discussing? That's dumb. Dumb as hell. As a sidebar, there are plenty of games in Michael Jordan's career where Scottie Pippen came through the clutch and bailed him out a little bit, but you know, God forbid anybody talks about that. I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of you old heads, you all have gotten a lot of y'all takes from Skip Bayless, especially as I go back and I revisit some of his greatest highlights. Y'all got a lot of y'all takes off of a man who literally gaslit the entire NBA community for over 15 years. And y'all sound dumb as hell regurgitating the same thing that this man has been spewing for that long. You are children. Grown men who are children who get on their knees and just sit there, suck off.
What the? Yo, Lowe's bugging.
Michael Jordan and disrespect any other player or era of basketball afterwards just so you can get on your knees for your daddy Michael Jordan, bro. Your daddy MJ. And then you let this man get on TV and push that propaganda literally for decades and decades at a time. Actually, let me say this real quick because I have to say this. For those that are wondering the reason why I've never reacted to a Skip Bayless take on this channel is because I decided to do the same thing that everybody else now is doing, which is ignoring this old ass. That's what I decided.
Facts, bruh. Because even if you did, and this is the problem with Skip Bayless, even if I did react to Skip Bayless takes on this channel, even if I kept up with everything Skip says, I swear to God, you would just find the same take over and over again. The chosen one became the frozen one. You know, LeBron sucks in the fourth quarter. He's not MJ. He's not all these things. And at some point, even if you are making content on Skip, or just as a listener, all right, bro, we already heard this. Next. Oh, you gonna say the same thing again? Next. Let me see what Shannon Sharp has to say. Okay. Next. And then at some point, I'ma just leave. I'ma just move on to the next thing. I may even go back to First Take. Or I'ma just go on YouTube and find independent content creators doing their thing. Fuck it.
You do. Stop giving him any airtime. Stop paying attention to anything he says. I've been ignoring him. I blocked him on Twitter for like 4 or 5 years now because I don't want to hear dumbass rhetoric. Actually, it's been longer. It's probably been 6 years. I don't want to hear dumbass rhetoric, bro.
Now, mind you, I'm a person who doesn't have Skip Bayless blocked, and I am here to tell Lo, and I'm pretty sure he already knows it. I don't think he missed out on anything. That's how bad Skip Bayless has been when it comes to his commentary, when it comes to his takes. I don't think Legend of Winning or anyone that's blocked him over the last 4 to 5 years has really missed anything.
I'm intelligent enough to think for myself and don't need some dumbass on TV telling me about basketball that I've actually seen. But you old heads will allow that man to exist in the space for as long as he did. Crazy. Y'all gonna sit here and tell us that we ain't watch basketball. Shut up, nigga. You ain't watch it either.
Pick your 5.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, I told you, I only need really one player on my team, and that's Michael Jordan. So, voila, here's my team, and I'm going to have you read the names for
This
me.
is crazy.
Could you read my 4 teammates?
Oh,
Now I will say this: Skip Bayless is a top tier troll. He's a top tier troll. This is a troll list. This is a troll list. Also, a lot of meat riding with Michael Jordan, but a troll list nevertheless. Also, as a sidebar, this is nothing I don't understand. Skip Bayless, like, unapologetically got on his knees for Michael Jordan. He,
Yo, he gotta stop, bro.
rode Michael Jordan.
He gotta stop.
Rode his meat for so long, and yet no one never really talks about like how he's like this propaganda pusher for MJ, more so that he just like this anti-LeBron figure. And while in the same instance, there's so many people who criticize the media members today about how they love LeBron and this is clutch media and all that other nasty shit. Bro, there's nobody, and I do mean no one, who was taking up airspace who would ever do this for LeBron. Not a single soul. As much as you think Nick Wright might ride LeBron and how much he loved LeBron, he would never even dare do anything like this. Never.
Shannon Sharp at some point, but I feel like Shannon Sharp was every action has an equal and opposite reaction. I feel like that was Shannon Sharp's thing. But even Shannon Sharp, I don't think he'd ever sit up here and say that if I'm building an all-time team, all I need is LeBron, I don't know, Cam Wilder, Devontae Frigga, and like 2 other dudes. Like, I don't.
Ever. Mind you, this nigga was the face of sports media for a good portion of 15 years. Come on.
Look who he's guarding, Skip. He's matched up with Kawhi Leonard. He helped off of Leonard to stop the penetration.
Okay, but he goes out and runs into Ginobili.
He stopped. That's a help and recover play.
Okay.
He stopped him, but his man is Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
Okay, so
but they run together. He runs into Ginobili.
But he's just
but don't give me this Ginobili.
I think what Skip Bayless has done is created a bridge from analysts talking about the game to the ability to just be entertaining talking about the game and getting paid for it. Because I feel like before Skip Bayless, I'm trying to think of the TV personality who essentially people didn't watch because of their great analysis, but because of the fact that they were just entertaining. I can't think of anyone outside of Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless was the first dude, because of how outlandish his takes were, how dumb his takes were, that people watch TV, national TV, just to see either what his next bad take is going to be or him get cooked by another dude on the show. I'm really trying to think. I think that's what Skip Bayless brought. I think Skip Bayless was the OG clip farmer. I think Skip Bayless was the OG hot take hunter. And we're still seeing the effects of that now, even with our current state of media. But I do think like we just ignore people like this, I ain't gonna lie, or we just continuously clown them.
He's going like this. Ginobili's protecting himself, too. They run together.
He prevented him from making any play on the shooter.
He's not trying to make a play on the shooter. He's making a play. He's stopping Ginobili from going to the hole.
No, the play is
he's ultimately guarding.
Penetrator.
He has left his man. He is guarding. He's stopping the drive.
I participated in this kind of defense for 10 years in the NBA.
I've watched it for 30 years.
Help and recover. He wasn't guarding Ginobili. He was
stopping Ginobili.
He was helping to, till he picks up the penetration and gets to the next part of it is. When he passes it, you recover to the shooter.
Just to get a little backstory behind this clip, for like days after that game, for those who don't know, Skip Bayless is a Spurs fan, and he was going on this rant and tangent about how the referees hurt the Spurs because they made a bad call, and James Harden was guarding Manu Ginobili. He went on this tangent for like days at a time. Nobody challenged him. I don't know why, and it's crazy to me because you would think that a network that has every single clip at their disposal will be able to pull this up within instance. But Tim Legler had to join the show just to then show him like, hey yo, what you're saying is wrong. You're factually incorrect, and it's actually pretty damning how bad you are at this, because it shows that you don't even know certain common defensive schemes. You just have no idea what you're talking about at all.
I will never forget what number 2 did to me and my San Antonio Spurs. He quit on my Spurs 2 years ago and quit his way right out of San Antonio. But you know what? Maybe it's time to forgive, to let it go, to let it be. Maybe it's time to do what number 2's Uncle Dennis asked me to do at the Manny Pacquiao fight back in August in Las Vegas on behalf of number 2. Uncle Dennis said, why don't you call him by his given name? So you know what? It's time. Here I go. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi.
And that right there is when I stopped watching Skip
What
Bayless,
the
and that's when I
fuck?
actually decided to block him. Because he went on this whole arc about Kawhi and hating him, and it resulted in him
called him number
refusing
two.
to call that man by his actual name, even though many people were begging him just to give him some form of respect and call that man by his name, not by his number. And he just refused to, because he decided to take it so personal that he just decides to continue to disrespect him for no reason whatsoever. When you get that caught up in fandom, when your whole identity is supposed to be unbiased, is when you just completely lose me. So those right there are some of the greatest hits of Skip Bayless. I will say this.
I just feel like Skip Bayless, him being a villain wasn't even a problem, to be honest with you. If we're just talking about what could have extended Skip Bayless's career, I think he could have continued playing that villain role. He just became an L villain. The clips weren't clipping, and that is partially due to the fact that people just don't take him seriously. But like even moments like the Kawhi clip that he just brought up, you know, moments like all the other moments that Lowe brought up in this video, they're just not happening anymore on Undisputed. Like every time I watch Undisputed, I feel like I'm just hearing like a boring dude just going through the motions. It doesn't really matter where Skip, because you can hear it in the energy of even this opening clip right here. Listen to Skip's energy.
This is the Skip Bayless Show, episode 1, 2, 3, because there's only 123. I'm talking about the one and only, the original Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Like, if that's Skip Bayless tried in 2024, then he's cooked. He's cooked.
Trying to elevate a lot of analysts, he tore down the credibility of people who don't play basketball or don't play the sport in the process as well. So much so that it took many of us to go the independent route just for our voices to be heard, while in the same process, never really uplifting any of us as well. I'm not going to sit here and applaud someone like Skip Bayless when he's had the platform to try to empower a lot of people who came behind him, but instead, he took the spotlight for himself, became selfish, and was disrespectful to everyone in the process, even a lot of his co-hosts. So no, not gonna do it. Don't give a damn. Don't care at all.
Man, we done with Skip Bayless. That's ultimately what it is. We done with him, and that's okay, and that's fine. I think in the media space, having a 20-year career is a whoa, what the fuck did you do? Like in acting, in music, like in artist, being as a creator, being able to say, yo, I've been doing this shit for 15, 20 years is a crazy thing to say. But mind you, if you say that same thing like a typical 9-to-5 ass job, I don't like, bro, you're 38, you still gotta work. You know what I'm saying? So, but in the media space, nah, Skip did his thing. Skip did his thing. And it's one of those things where I can't really feel sorry for someone when it's just your time to go. I don't want to keep regurgitating it. It's just your time to go, bro. But let me know what you think. Links to Lowe's video will be in the description down below. And I'm out of here, man. Peace.